coming to you from Galactic. There wasn't a lot of time in between our games. Our first game got done at 3 p.m. and we're back on the ice at 4:30. So they had just enough time to grab something quick to eat and then rest for a minute and get back into warming up and getting ready to play. Unfortunately, we came away with a 4-2 loss this morning with an empty net goal in the last couple of seconds. So hopefully we've been able to regroup, get some energy back, and we'll come out with a win this afternoon. This time the Mustangs will be in their black jerseys, and the Icemen will be in their white jerseys. So we have about 1:20 left in warm-ups. Again, this is the second game of the doubleheader. Tomorrow we'll play a doubleheader against the Arctic Foxes from RMU. Our first game's at 9:30 a.m. and then our second game's at 3:10 p.m. So early morning game up at RMU, and then a lot of time in between the two games. And for those of you who are watching the first game, Colin's doing okay, but he'll be out for this game. So we're just about 30 seconds left in warm-ups. Again, this is the second game of the doubleheader against the PHA Icemen. And we're coming to you from Galactic. Okay, so that's the end of warm-ups. Getting all the pucks cleaned up, getting ready to go. And the Mustangs break their huddle, coming over to the bench to get ready to start. We're going to have 15-minute periods, 1:30 penalties. And again, the Mustangs will be in their black jerseys. The Icemen will be in their white jerseys this time. And good luck to everybody else who's playing this weekend. I'm sure there's lots of games going on all over Central PA and the Pittsburgh area. So Winfield's going to net on our right. We're going to have Sheehan, Eichfeld, Williams, Brooks, and Steer. So Eichfeld will take the face off, goes over towards the wall. The Icemen pick up momentarily. Williams putting some pressure. Steer comes in to get that puck to Sheehan. Sheehan brings it into the offensive zone, gets poke checked. Williams is there to bring it to the corner. Williams tries to center it, goes off of the skate. So the Icemen, Eichfeld over along the wall to pick it up, dumps it down for Sheehan. Sheehan looking, trying to get it towards the middle. Got stuck on the ice there. The Icemen pick up this puck, Going through in the neutral zone, cross ice pass picked up by Steer. Steer dumps it up towards Eichfeld. The Icemen send it hard along the boards. Brooks is there, but the puck leaks in. Steer will go back to collect, sends it hard around the boards to Williams. Williams hits the puck up and into the neutral zone. The Icemen pick this up and send it back up along the wall. They dump it down wide of the net. Brooks will pick this up. Brooks around that one player momentarily, gets it to Billadou. The Icemen poke check it and keep it in. The Iceman picked up in the corner. Billadou putting pressure along the puck. The Iceman behind the net, try to get it redirected, but it's broken up by Brooks. Brooks gets it up to Billadou. Billadou over to Downey. Downey back to Billadou. Billadou into the zone. Poke checked over to the side, but Billadou sticks with it. Downey will pick up this puck. Downey centers it over towards Conrad. Conrad back to Wilson. Wilson with a shot wide of the net. Downey will go to try to get to this puck. Poke checked by the Iceman. Downey's still fighting for the puck along the boards. Iceman come away with it, but Billadou picks this off. Billadou into the net, shot saved by the goalie. The Iceman pick this up, get it out and cross ice pass. Knob sends it up to Billadou in the neutral zone. Poke checked by the Iceman, but Billadou sticks with it and dumps it down. Baker in to get to this puck. The goalie went behind the net to play it. Didn't see Baker coming in. Baker gets it over to Giesman. Giesman with a shot and in. So great job. Baker stuck with that puck, got over to Giesman. Giesman with a shot and in. So that'll put the Mustangs up on the board first. We have 13 minutes left in the first period. The Mustangs are ahead 1-0. So great to see them coming out with that energy in this first period. So we're going to have wide line, Giesman, Baker, Steer, and Brooks. So puck goes back towards Brooks. Brooks hits the puck up towards Giesman. Giesman gets it towards wide line, stuck on the blue line. We do get it out into the neutral zone. Good poke check there. The Icemen have to regroup, send it D to D. Baker coming in to try to break up the play. Wide line, poke checks it into our offensive zone. Puck leaks out. Brooks will collect and send it towards wide line, who dumps it in. But they're going to call offsides. So 12:35 left in the first period. The Mustangs are ahead 1-0. We'll face off outside the zone. Sheehan, Eichfeld, Williams, Steer, and Brooks. So Eichfeld with the face-off goes into the offensive zone. Brooks will collect the puck in the neutral zone, sends it over towards Williams. Williams along the boards fighting for the puck. Steer and assistance. The puck leaks out. Steer will collect it in the neutral zone, sends it to Eichfeld. Eichfeld brings into the offensive zone. Eichfeld with a shot blocked by the Iceman. Williams over along the boards. Goes back to Steer, who keeps it in. Steer with a shot, saved by the goalie and covered. So 12:06 left in the first period. Mustangs are ahead 1-0. We'll face off to the right of the goalie. Sheehan, Williams, Eichfeld, Knob, and Wilson out for the Mustangs. So the puck leaks out along the boards. Knob sends it back down to Williams. Williams tries to get a shot off, goes to Eichfeld. Eichfeld trying to get a shot off, but is taken away by the Iceman. Eichfeld still fighting for the puck, gets it over to Sheehan. Sheehan in the corner, dumps it back behind the net towards Williams. Williams centers it. Unfortunately, just a little bit off there. Eichfeld gets it to Sheehan. Sheehan with a shot deflected. Eichfeld gets it to Williams. Williams with a shot and in. So great puck movement there by the Mustangs, getting it to the middle. Williams with the goal. So that'll put the Mustangs up 2-0. Glad to see after that first game that we're coming out with some energy and with some fire. So 11:42 left in the first period. The Mustangs are ahead 2-0. We're going to have Conrad, Downey, Billadou, Steer, and Wilson and Knob. Conrad with that puck gets it into the offensive zone. The Icemen regroup, send it into the neutral zone. The puck leaks in towards the back corner, but that'll be icing. So we'll face off to the left of the goalie. So Downey with the face-off with Conrad, Billadu, Wilson, and Knob. So the face-off goes towards the middle, poke checked over to the side. Conrad in pursuit of this puck. Wilson tries to keep it in, but it bounces out. Knob will go back to in a foot race. Gets that puck, gets it along the boards. The Icemen do pick it up, but Knob breaks it up again. Knob gets the puck up to Billadu. Billadu gets it out of the zone, gets it to Downey. Downey into the offensive zone. Unfortunately, that'll be offsides. So good try, good look there, but just a little bit offsides. So we're going to have face-off outside the zone at the near dot. 11:08 left in the first period. The Mustangs are still ahead 2-0. So Downey with the face-off. Steer sends it over towards Billadu. Billadu with the shot towards Downey. Downey with another shot broken off by the Icemen. Steer keeps it in. Shot deflected high back to the back wall. The puck leaks up towards the middle. Downey picks it up. Downey towards Conrad, picked off by the Icemen. Icemen bring it through the neutral zone. Gets it towards Downey and Steer. Steer gets this puck, hits it up along the boards to Conrad. Steer still fighting for this puck. Steer cross ice pass over towards Billadu. Billadu has some speed, brings it into the offensive zone. Billadu with a shot wide of the net. Downey will go over along the boards to pick this up. Still fighting for that puck along the boards. The puck leaks up, but Billadu keeps it in. Shot on net. Goalie has to play it. Downey hits the puck behind the net towards Lugar. The puck leaks towards the near wall. Zoldi is in to dump it down behind the net. The puck leaks up again. Zoldi in with a hit to break up that play. Knob sends it down towards Downey. Downey tries to get a shot deflected wide. Lugar over along the boards, dumps it down to the corner. Poke checked by Lugar, but the Icemen come up with it. Cross ice pass. Knob is there to break up that play. Wenzel comes in to pick up this puck, takes it behind the net, sends it along the boards. Wilson putting some pressure and poke checks that puck. Wilson sends it up into the neutral zone. The Icemen have to go back. Lugar is in pursuit. Wilson comes in, keeps that puck inside the zone. I think that's Zoldi, I think that's Zoldi. They hit that puck out there. Good poke check by Baker. Baker to Wenzel. Wenzel dumps it down. Zoldi is in pursuit. Iceman cross ice pass, but deflected. Baker in there to put some pressure. Baker putting pressure while the Mustangs are in a change. Knob comes in, poke checks that to keep it in the zone. Knob back in the corner. Knob back to Giesman. Knob still fighting for that puck, gets it to Giesman. Giesman around, tries to center it, goes off of the skates of the Icemen. Giesman behind the net, gets it up, but it leaks out into the neutral zone. Knob will collect. Knob sends it up to Baker. No icing. Giesman there for pressure, but the puck leaks over to Wyline on the far boards. The Icemen get up and into the neutral zone, but Giesman breaks that up, gets it back to Baker. Baker dumps it down, but that bounces into the bench. So 8:24 left in the first period. The Mustangs are still ahead 2-0. We're going to have a center ice face-off. So we have Giesman, Wyline, Baker, Steer, and Brooks. Brooks hits this puck up along the boards. Cross ice pass picked off by Baker. Baker brings it into the offensive zone, passes over to Wyline. Wyline backhanded shot, saved by the goalie. Wyline tries to get it centered again. Baker's there to try to get a shot, saved by the goalie. Steer keeps it in. Steer with a shot deflected by Wyline, saved by the goalie. Wyline still fighting to get to this puck. The Icemen do pick it up behind the net, send it around. Steer is along the boards, dumps it back behind. The Icemen hit hard up and out, but Brooks keeps it in with a shot. Deflected. Baker and Wyline there trying to get to the puck, but the Icemen get it out into the neutral zone. Steer with a nice center ice hit to break up that play. Baker and Brooks send that down, goes behind the net. Steer along the far wall. Steer sends it up to Eichfeld. Eichfeld in the neutral zone, gets it into the offensive zone. The Iceman hit it hard around the boards. Sheehan going in to try to get to this puck. Knob is there as well to keep it in. Knob gets it towards Sheehan. Puck leaks up. Williams is there in assistance. Sheehan tries to center it. It gets broken up by the Iceman. Sheehan centers it. Unfortunately, couldn't connect there. The Iceman get the puck along the blue line. Out into the neutral zone. Williams collects and sends it cross ice towards Eichfeld. Eichfeld dumps it down towards Sheehan. The Iceman with his puck behind the net. Cross ice pass by the Iceman. Sheehan keeps that puck in. Sheehan with a shot, saved by the goalie. So 6:44 left in the first period. The Mustangs are still winning 2-0. So we're going to have Downey, Bilodeau, Conrad, Steer, and Brooks. So Downey with the faceoff goes towards the near wall. Steer poke checks that, but it does leak out. The Icemen have a little bit of a breakaway, broken up momentarily by Brooks. Bilodeau picks this up, cross ice. Bilodeau up to Downey in the neutral zone. Downey has one man to beat. Poke checked, goes into the corner. Downey sends it behind the net towards Conrad. Conrad back to Downey. Downey towards the middle to Bilodeau, just couldn't connect there. Brooks sends it back down to Conrad. Conrad to Brooks. Brooks with a shot wide over the net. Downey picks this up, sends it back towards Steer. The puck does leak out. Brooks will pick up this puck, gets it to Bilodeau, but that'll be offsides. So 6:03 left in the first period. Mustangs are ahead 2-0. We're looking much better this game. This weekend in Detroit, we're looking really good. And then the game this morning is a little bit off, but I'm glad to see that we're back on our game again. So Lugar back towards Wilson. Wilson hits this up along the boards. Wenzel and Wilson try to keep it in. It leaks towards the middle. Knob sends it over towards Zoldi. Zoldi poke checks it into the zone. Lugar behind the net. Nice hit to break up that play. Knob tries to keep it in, but it leaks out. Wilson will pick this up in the neutral zone. Wilson sends it up towards Zoldi. Bouncing puck in the neutral zone. Lugar poke checks it up. Zoldi breaks up that play momentarily. Knob dumps that down. Wenzel's in pursuit of this puck. Wenzel with a nice hit to break up that play. Zoldi comes in, blocks that puck. Wenzel gets it up to Knob. Knob with that puck over along the boards. Knob centers it over towards Zoldi. Zoldi with a shot, saved by the goalie. Eichfeld in pressure. Zoldi along the boards along with Wilson. Wilson sends it down towards Eichfeld. The puck leaks out. No icing. Knob will go back to collect behind the net. Knob brings it into the neutral zone. Knob dumps it down into the corner after he gains the red line. Sheehan trying to get to this puck, leaks behind the net. Knob sends it over along the wall. Steer keeps it in and dumps it back down towards Knob. The Icemen pick it up, and we're going to get a penalty for interference. So the Icemen will be going to the box for 1:30 for interference. So we'll be on a power play for 1:30. 4:42 left in the first period. Mustangs are still ahead 2-0. So Wenzel, Bilodeau, Downey, Steer, and Eichfeld out for our power play line. They'll be in the box for 1:30. 4:42 left in the first period.
There we go. Sorry.
So Eichfeld will take the face off. Goes over towards Bilodeau. Bilodeau tries to keep it in, but it leaks back to Steer. Steer with a shot, saved by the goalie. Tried to get the rebound in. Eichfeld tries to get a rebound in as well. Eichfeld behind the net. Tries to do a wraparound, gets towards Bilodeau. Bilodeau trying to get to that puck, but a stick lift by the Icemen. Icemen bring it into the neutral zone. Downey with a nice poke check out towards the wall. Downey in towards the corner. The Icemen have this. Hit it up along the boards. Nice job by Bilodeau to break up that play. Gets it out into the neutral zone. Wenzel with some speed. The puck goes to Bilodeau. Bildu towards Wenzel, and Eichfeld unfortunately will be off. So 57 seconds left on our power play. 4:09 left in the first period. We'll face off at the near dot. Baker, Giesman, wide line, Brooks, and Knob. So Giesman with the face-off goes to wide line, cross ice, pass broken up by the Iceman. Giesman gets to this puck. Giesman centers it towards Baker, leaks to Brooks. Brooks dumps it down towards Baker. Gets back to Brooks. Brooks from the point, shot deflected wide line, trying to get a shot in. Giesman trying to get the shot in. Puck still loose. Baker there trying to get the shot in. Puck was still loose. The Icemen do come up with it. The Icemen have some speed. Nice poke check by Knob to get it out towards the wall. The Icemen still have it. Bring it in. Shot. Saved by Winfield. So good save there by Winfield. 3:36 left in the first period. 24 seconds left on the power play. We'll have a face-off to the left of Winfield. So Giesman with the face-off. Gets it out towards Brooks. Brooks surveying. Gets it to wide line. Wide line along the far boards. Iceman pick this off. Knob will be in pursuit. Knob in front of the net. Changes direction, hits it behind the net over towards Brooks. Brooks surveying. We're back to full strength for both teams. Brooks comes through the neutral zone. Brooks down to the corner, behind the net. Brooks tries to get it up to Knob. Poke check by the Iceman. The Iceman cross ice pass. Giesman will go over along the far boards and dump it down. Cross ice pass by the Iceman into the neutral zone. Nice job by Giesman to break up that play. And we're going to get offsides. So 2:44 left in the first period. The Mustangs are still ahead 2-0. So Steer, Wilson, Williams, Eichfeld, and Sheehan. So puck goes towards Sheehan. Sheehan gets it towards the middle. Wilson hits this up to Eichfeld in the neutral zone. The Icemen dump it back down. Wilson will collect, sends it cross ice over to Williams. Williams dumps it into the offensive zone. The Icemen have to collect it. Eichfeld tries to break it up, but it does get up. Williams and Sheehan keep this in. Williams down towards Eichfeld. Eichfeld in the corner, back to Williams and Wilson. Wilson dumps it down behind the net. Sheehan will collect this, gets it towards the center, but it's broken up. Steer there to try to get to the puck, but the Icemen are there first. Wilson back on D. The Icemen do have a breakaway. Nice job by Wilson and Steer to break up that play. Williams comes away with the puck. Cross ice pass towards Sheehan. Sheehan and Eichfeld tip it in. The Icemen with a hit to break up that play. Cross ice pass by the Icemen. They dump it down. Brooks will go back to try and collect, but that'll be icing. So we have 1:44 left in the first period. Mustangs are still ahead 2-0. We'll face off to the right of the goalie. Downey, Conrad, Billadu, Knob, and Brooks. So Downey over to Conrad. Conrad to Knob. Knob with a shot deflected by the Icemen. The Icemen do come up with this. Send it up. Knob in pursuit of this puck. Knob to the corner, gets it up the boards towards Billadu. Billadu poke checks that ahead of the Icemen, but the Icemen do keep it in and dump it down. Knob behind the net, sends it around the boards. Icemen redirect behind the net. Icemen hit it back up to the point, but it leaks out. Downey's in pursuit. Downey has some room. Downey around, shot through the 5-hole and in. So Downey with a breakaway opened up the 5-hole and in. So great job to put the Mustangs up 3-0. 1:08 left in the first period. Glad to see that we've got the fire back. So Billadu, Conrad, Downey, Wilson, and Steer. Creeping into the face-off circle. Billadu comes away with the puck momentarily before the Icemen hit out into neutral zone. Downey dumps it for Billadu. Downey keeps this puck in. The Icemen pick this off, get into the neutral zone, broken up by Wilson to Downey. Downey serving, gets it over towards Conrad. Conrad up along the boards, dumps it down. The Icemen pick this up. Good job by Billadu to break up that play momentarily. The Icemen have it in the neutral zone. Shot, saved by Winfield. So 33 seconds left in the first period. So we'll have a face-off to the right of Winfield. We'll have Lugar, Wenzel, Zoldi, Steer, and Wilson out there. So Lugar with the face-off. Goes towards the middle. Steer will pick this up, hits it over towards the wall. Steer still fighting for that puck. The Icemen come away with it, center it. Shot, saved. Steer picks this puck up, hits it hard out into the neutral zone. The Icemen have to get back on sides. They do and tip it in. Steer will go back in pursuit of this puck. Steer gets hit hard into the boards, and we're going to get a penalty for that. So the Iceman will be going to the box for 1:30 for roughing for that hit. Hopefully Steer's okay. He got hit hard into the boards. Thankfully he was able to get up and skate off on his own. We have Billadu, Downey, Lugar, Eichfeld, and Brooks on our power play line. 8 seconds left in the period, 1:30 on our penalty or our power play. Eichfeld goes back towards Billadu and Brooks. Billadu gets it to Eich. Oh, we're going to have a hand pass. So after the hand pass, we'll have a face-off outside the zone. 4 seconds left in the period. Eichfeld with the face-off goes towards Billadu, back to Downey. Downey dumps it down. That'll be end of the first period. So at the end of the first period, the Mustangs are winning 3-0. Thank you everybody for watching. Again, this is the second game of the doubleheader against the PHA Icemen. Glad to see that we're coming out strong after that loss this morning. Again, we'll have another game tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. and 3:10 p.m. against the Arctic Foxes. I'm going to put you on mute here for a minute, and I'm also going to change some things around with positioning. Okay, we're getting ready to start the second period. 15 minutes up on the clock. Winfield's in the net to our left. We have Billadu, Lugar, Eichfeld, Brooks, and Downey for our power play line. Still 1:22 left on the power play. Mustangs are ahead 3-0. Eichfeld with the faceoff goes back to Brooks. Brooks up along the boards to Lugar. Lugar fighting for this puck along the boards, gets it back towards zone. Downey will pick this up in a foot race with the Icemen. Brooks poke checks it down. The Icemen are still sticking with it. Behind the net, Eichfeld will pick this up. Eichfeld cross ice pass towards Lugar, but it gets picked off by the Icemen. Lugar does get that off of his skates to Billadu. Bildu fighting for that puck along the boards. The Icemen have this through the neutral zone. Bildu poke check that. Good save there by Winfield, went off the post. Bildu up towards Eichfeld. Eichfeld with a breakaway. Eichfeld with a shot and in. So great job by Eichfeld off of the breakaway and in. So that'll put the Mustangs up 4-0. We still have 39. Oh, no, sorry. That'll get them out of the box. So the power play will be over. We'll be back to full strength for both teams. 14-17 left in the second period. We'll have Giesman, Wideline, Baker, Knob, and Steer. So the puck goes back to the Iceman and bounces into the netting. So Giesman with the face-off. The Icemen pick this up into the neutral zone. The Icemen bring it in wide of the net. The Icemen over along the boards. Giesman fighting for this puck. The Icemen pick it up. Cross ice pass, but it leaks out into the neutral zone. Baker will putting some pressure along that puck. Bounces over to the Icemen, who have it in the neutral zone. Cross ice pass picked off by Knob. Knob still fighting for this puck along the boards. Gets it up to Giesman. Giesman brings it into the offensive zone, but unfortunately so Knob's going to go to the box for slashing. So the Mustangs will be on a penalty kill for 1:30. We have 13:39 left in the second period. The Mustangs are ahead 4-0. Going to have a face-off to the left of Winfield. Eichfeld, Sheehan, Brooks, and Wilson out for our penalty kill line. So Eichfeld with the face-off. Wilson hits it up, but the Iceman keeping it at the point. Point-to-point pass. Back to the other point. Back to the other point. Shot blocked by Sheehan. Great shot block there. So it looks like we're going to have offsetting penalties. Maybe for, oh no, maybe that was just Brooks to the box. Actually, I'm not really sure. So that puck leaks out, and that will be not icing, so the goalie will have to play this. Sheehan comes in there strong to try to get to that puck. Sheehan still fighting for this puck along the boards. The Iceman bring it behind the net. Sheehan tries to break up that play. Iceman can't get it out. Eichfeld dumps it down behind the net. The Icemen have it behind the net. Iceman hit it along the boards. Williams back on D, sends it back up. Williams hits it into the offensive zone. The Icemen have it through the neutral zone. Good poke check by Eichfeld and Steer. Williams will pick this up. Icemen keep it in. Williams gets it out to Eichfeld in the neutral zone. Eichfeld towards the middle. Eichfeld has an open shot. Oh, that was a really good save by that goalie. Okay. So after that last penalty, I think those were offsetting penalties against Knob and the Iceman player, and we still had somebody in the box. So we are still on a 4-on-5 penalty kill for 14 seconds. After 28 seconds, the offsetting penalties will have to wait for a whistle to come out. So Bildu with that puck shot, bouncing puck, and in! So Bildu with that puck shot, and it bounced, and in. So as a goalie parent, it's an awful feeling to have one of those pucks, but glad that it was for the Mustangs. So the Mustangs are up 5-0. So we're still 4-on-5 for 8 seconds. The puck leaks back to the Icemen. The Icemen dump it up along the boards. Williams is there to keep it in. Poke checks it up to Zoldi. Zoldi over to Biladu. Biladu brings it into the offensive zone. We are back to full strength. Poke check by Biladu to keep it in. Biladu down to the corner. Biladu centers to Williams. Williams with a shot. Good save by the goalie off of his face mask. Goes back to Wilson. Wilson with a shot behind the net. Biladu picks us up. Centering shot broken up by the Iceman. Biladu still fighting for this puck, sends it behind the net. Williams picks this up, back to Knob at the point. Knob back down to Williams, gets it towards the red dot. The Icemen do get it out into the neutral zone. Biladu fighting to get to this puck. Biladu putting some good pressure there. Wilson with a nice check to break up that play. The Mustangs hit this puck up and out. That was Knob. Williams fighting to get to this puck. The Icemen do get it out into the neutral zone. No, Knob poke checks it towards the middle. Williams tries to hit that up. Zoldi comes away with it. Zoldi at the dot down into the corner. Zoldi dumps it behind the net. Lugar picks this up, centers it. Unfortunately, we don't have anybody there. Zoldi hits it back down towards Lugar in the corner. Lugar up around to Steer at the point. Steer with a shot deflected by Wenzel. Another shot saved by the goalie. Zoldi hits it behind the net. Wenzel towards the middle gets broken up. Lugar over along the boards, tries to get it to Steer, but it's picked off by the Icemen. Steer poke checks that again, but it's a 2-on-1. So tried to get that back. Knob getting some good defense there. Breaks up that play. Zoldi gets it up to Wenzel. Wenzel has a little bit of speed through the neutral zone. Wenzel trying to get through all those Icemen. The Icemen do get it out into the neutral zone. We have Wilson, wide line, and Steer back. Shot broken up. Oh, no! So that puck was broken up. Unfortunately, it bounced off of our player and leaked in right in the corner by the post. So that'll put the Icemen up on the board. So the score is now 5-1, but the Mustangs are still winning. 10-16 left in the second period. We're going to have Giesman, Wideline, Baker, Brooks, and Wilson. So Wilson comes up with this puck, hits it hard along the boards. Icemen will pick it up. Baker poke checks it over to the boards. Centering pass broken up by the Icemen. The puck leaks out. The Icemen are in pursuit. Drop it back, broken up by Baker. Shot broken up. Another shot saved by Winfield. Behind the net, we hit this puck up along the boards. Wideline has some speed through the neutral zone. Wideline comes around. Wideline with a shot and in! So beautiful job by Wideline to get over to the other dot, shot and in. So that'll put the Mustangs up 6-1. So glad to see Mustangs coming out this second game. So we have 9:42 left in the second period. Mustangs are winning 6-1. Conrad, Downey, Biladu, Wilson, and Brooks. So the puck goes back to the Icemen along the boards. The Icemen dump it down, and that'll be offsides. So we'll face off outside the zone. Conrad, Downey, Biladu, Brooks, and Wilson. So Conrad gets that puck up to Downey. Downey through the middle, shot wide of the net. Downey's still fighting to get to this puck, but he's going to get a penalty. So Downey will be going to the box for slashing. So we'll be on a penalty kill for 1:30. So Wilson, Brooks, Conrad, and Billady for our penalty kill line on a face-off to the right of Winfield. Face-off goes back to the Icemen. Good job by Conrad to poke check that out. Wilson fighting to, or Brooks fighting to get to that puck along with Conrad. The Icemen come up with it, bounced off the side of the net. Iceman up to the point, over to the other point. Shot, saved by Winfield. Out to the top of the circle. Shot, deflected. Trent to get a pass off, but Brooks broke that up. Goes up to the point, dumps back down. Brooks is there to poke check that, but the Iceman keep it in. Shot wide of the net. The Iceman pick up behind the net, gets poke checked to the opposite corner. The Icemen have this surveying. Try to get it towards the middle, shot wide of the net. Another shot off of Winfield's pads. Conrad will bring this into the neutral zone. Poke checked by the Iceman. Billadu's in to keep it in the neutral zone momentarily. The puck leaks behind the net. Wilson breaks up that pass. Conrad in there to try to get to that puck. We do get it out, but that'll be icing. So we still have 17 seconds left on our penalty kill. 8:08 left in the second period. We're going to have Knob, Steer, Eichfeld, and Sheehan on a face-off to the right of Winfield. So the Icemen send this up to the point. Shot, saved by Winfield. So repeat that face-off again. The Mustangs are still ahead, 6-1. So the Icemen come away with the face-off, send it up to the point, send it back down to the circle. Centering pass off of their own player. We do get it up and out into the neutral zone. The Icemen pick this up with some speed behind the net, change directions. Sheehan putting some pressure. Sheehan gets it towards Eichfeld. Eichfeld keeps it in. The Iceman poke check that, goes back to Steer. Steer hits this puck up and no icing. The Icemen try to hit it around. Sheehan is there. Sheehan sends it back around behind the net. Williams over to the corner. Williams trying to get to this puck. The Icemen come up with it, send it up towards the point. Eichfeld keeps it in. Shot deflected by the Icemen. Another shot. Williams is there and in. So there was a lot of bouncing pucks in there. I'm not sure exactly who ended up getting that goal, so we'll have to see who comes out in the front of the line. So it looks like that was Sheehan that tapped that puck in. So great job sticking with those rebounds. So the Icemen are taking a timeout. So we have 7:11 left in the second period. The Mustangs are ahead 7-1. So the first game this morning, we did come out looking a little bit slow. I'm glad that we are able to pick it up. The second game, we've had some changes to the lines, and it looks like it's been working well for us. So I'm just going to put you on mute for a minute. Okay, so after that timeout, we're getting ready to start again. So we have Wenzel, Lugar, Zoldi, Wilson, and Brooks out there. So 7-11 left in the second period. Lugar with the face-off. Trying to get everybody out of the face-off circle. Mustangs are fired up. The puck leaks back to the Icemen. The Icemen bring it behind the net. Zoldi trying to put some pressure. Lugar trying to put some pressure. The puck leaks out into the neutral zone. Poke check by Wilson. The Iceman with a shot blocked by Brooks. Centering pass broken up by Zoldi. Shot saved by Winfield. Brooks behind the net goes over towards the Iceman, and we're going to get a penalty. So Iceman will be going to the box for 1:30 for roughing. So we'll be on a power play. So 1:30, 5-on-4 power play. Williams, Biladu, Eichfeld, Steer, and Downey on a face-off to the right of the goalie. 6:47 left in the second period. The Mustangs are winning 7-1. So Eichfeld with the face-off, still sitting on the dot. Biladu takes that away from the Iceman. Biladu tries to get it down, bounces off the Iceman, gets over to Downey. Downey with a shot and in. So Downey pops the water bottle off the top of the net. That'll put the Mustangs up 8-1. So a good power play goal by the Mustangs. So that'll get that player out of the box. So 6:36 left in the second period. We're going to have Downey, Conrad, Biladu, Knob, and Steer. So Downey with the face-off goes back to the Iceman. The Iceman hit along the boards. Steer will pick this up. Steer surveying, gets it over along the boards towards Downey. Downey into the middle. Downey over towards Conrad. Conrad to the corner, jumps it back around. The Iceman hit this up. Steer will have to regroup till we get back on side, sends it over to Knob. Knob dumps it down. The goalie leaves it behind the net, sends around Conrad in the corner. Conrad serving, gets it centered over to Downey. Downey with a shot saved by the goalie. Knob with a shot just wide of the net. Conrad will pick this up, dumps it down for Downey. Downey towards Conrad. The puck leaks up to Steer at the point. Steer back down to Downey. Downey back to Steer. Steer over to Biladu. Biladu with a shot saved by the goalie. Good job there by the Mustangs. So Downey has this puck behind the net. Hits it up towards Knob at the point. Knob dumps it back down, picked off by the Iceman. Iceman tried to center, but it goes off their skates. Conrad dumps it down, but we weren't quite on sides. So we have a running clock of 5:20. The Mustangs are ahead 8-1. Second period. We'll face off to the near dot. Giesman, wide line, Baker, Wilson, and Brooks. So Giesman comes away with this puck, brings it into the offensive zone, gets it over towards wide line. Wide line wrapping around. Wide line with a shot, saved by the goalie and off of the post. Giesman breaks up that play, keeps it in. Baker keeps that in as well, but the Icemen do finally get that out. Brooks over along the boards before he goes down. That puck gets hit up towards Baker. Baker dumps it down. Wide line will be in pursuit. Behind the net. Baker comes in from the point, tries to get it center, broken up by the Iceman. Giesman putting some pressure along the puck. The Icemen take it behind the net. Hit it up along the boards. Cross ice pass. Giesman dump it down. The goalie will leave it. Baker comes in to try to get to that puck. The Iceman hit it around the boards. Baker breaks up that play to keep it in there. Good job by Wenzel, come in with a nice hit to break up that play. The Icemen have it through the neutral zone with some speed. Nice poke check by Steer. The Icemen keep it. Couldn't get that shot off. Hit out to the side by Knob. Knob sends this puck up. Gets it out into the neutral zone. Winds up putting some good pressure along that puck. Cross ice pass by the Icemen who bring it in. Nice poke check by Knob momentarily. They couldn't get that shot off. Knob still fighting for that puck along with Zoldi. The puck leaks behind the net. Lugar breaking up that play. Steer sends that puck hard up along the boards, but the Icemen keep it in. Lugar sends that up. The Icemen dump it back down. Steer with this puck surveying. Hits it hard to Lugar, who taps it down into the neutral zone. Lugar over along the board, sends it up to Zoldi. Zoldi into the offensive zone. Zoldi still fighting for this puck. Zoldi comes away with it, still fighting. The Icemen try to poke it out, but Lugar keeps it in and dumps it down behind the net. The puck leaks around to the far boards. Lugar dumps it down to behind the net. The Mustangs are in a change. Williams comes in behind the net. Williams tries to get it centered, bounces off of the Iceman. Eiffel tries to keep that in, but it does leak out. Brooks back on D. Nice poke check to keep that in the neutral zone. Sheehan breaks up that play. Sheehan gets it up towards Eichfeld. Iceman poke check that. Still a bouncing puck in the neutral zone. Iceman do get it in. Poke check by Wilson over towards Williams. Sheehan with this puck in the neutral zone. Gets picked off by the Iceman. Williams tries to send it up. Goes off of the skates of the Iceman. The Iceman bring it into our defensive zone. Good job by Brooks to break up that play. Gets it over to Eichfeld. Eichfeld out into the neutral zone. Ooh, the Icemen dump it backwards instead of across ice. D pass. Williams breaks up that play, keeps it in the offensive zone. Williams still fighting for this puck along the boards. Williams and Sheehan fighting for the puck. The Icemen have it behind the net, send it around the boards. Sheehan in there to break up the play momentarily. The Icemen do dump it down, and that'll be icing. So we have 1:44 on a running clock. Second period. The Mustangs are ahead 8-1. Downey, Conrad, Billadu, Knob, and Steer. So Downey with the faceoff goes back towards Knob. Knob dumps it down towards Conrad in the corner. Downey sends it back towards Knob. Unfortunately, it leaks out into the neutral zone. Knob will regroup. Sends it over to Downey along the boards. Bounces off of the boards, and the Icemen dump it down. Steer will pick up this puck, takes it behind the net. He gets taken down. The puck gets taken away. Knob over towards Downey. Downey up along the boards. The Icemen come away with it. Shot wide of the net. The Icemen pick it up behind the net. Pressure by Downey. Billadu trying to get to that puck. The Iceman with a shot high over the net. The puck wraps hard around. Downey in pursuit of this puck. Oh, unfortunately, Downey's going to get a penalty for that. So Downey was trying to get to that puck. And unfortunately, contact with the other player. So it looks like they're calling boarding against Downey. So Downey will be out because they called that boarding. So it doesn't look like that was intentional. Downey was just skating really hard to get to that puck. Unfortunately, the contact with the player went down. A boarding penalty. So we're going to be 5-on-4, I think, for 5 minutes. So we're still trying to figure this out. The refs are talking to the coaches. Okay, so we're changed. So instead of the 5 minutes, a 4 minute. So we're just trying to get everything figured out here. Oh. Okay, so we're getting the penalty up on the clock. So we have 28 seconds left in the second period. We're on a 4-on-5 penalty kill for 4 minutes. Mustangs are ahead 8-1. So Giesman with the face-off. Baker trying to get to this puck. Baker takes it behind the net, passes it over to Brooks. Brooks high bouncing puck to Giesman in the neutral zone. The Icemen do pick this up. Baker putting some pressure along that puck. The Icemen hit it into the neutral zone, and we're going to get a hand pass. So we have 3 seconds left on the running clock, so that should be the end of the second period. So at the end of the second period, the Mustangs are ahead 8-1. Per the scoreboard, the Mustangs have 17 shots on goal, and the Icemen have 8 shots on goal. Thank you, everybody, for watching. So again, we have another game tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. against the Arctic Foxes from RMU, and then a second game at 3:10 p.m. against the Arctic Foxes from RMU. I'll be streaming those games as well on Facebook and YouTube at Brickwall Broadcast. So I'm going to put you on mute for the rest of this intermission. Okay, we're getting ready to start the third period. We have Giesman, Baker, I think that's Brooks and Wilson. So Brooks will go back, pick up that puck. Giesman gets it around to that player. Giesman along the boards. Giesman still fighting for that puck. Giesman trying to get to that puck. The Icemen take it behind the net, hit it along the boards. Cross ice pass through the neutral zone. Wilson will go over to hit that puck up, but the Icemen keep it in. Baker breaks up that play. Baker trying to get that puck out, but the Icemen do keep it in. Baker still putting some pressure along the puck. The Icemen have it for the middle. The Icemen dump it down. The Icemen towards the middle. The Icemen with the backhanded shot, saved by Winfield. So Baker's going to be going to the box for a minute 30 for slashing. So it'll be 5-on-3 for a minute 30. We still have 2:53 on that other penalty. So face off to the right of Winfield. think that's knob, steer, and maybe wide line out there. So the Iceman with a shot, wide of the net. Steer will pick this up. Steer brings it into the neutral zone. Steer dumps it down behind the net. The puck leaks around to the opposite side, back behind the net. Wide line putting some pressure. We are on a 5-on-3 penalty kill, so we're being more cautious here. The Iceman bring it into the neutral zone. Steer pushes it out to the side. Iceman bring behind the net. Good poke check by Knob. Knob still putting pressure along the puck. The Iceman dump it. Wide line with a shot. Nice save by Winfield up into the netting. So we still have 39 seconds on our 3-on-5 penalty kill. We have running clock with 13:24 left in the third period. Mustangs are still ahead 8-1. We're going to have Wilson, Billadou. So Billadou comes away with that puck. Billadou through the neutral zone. Billadou tries to get it in and does. Bounces off of that player's skate. The Icemen have this puck. Brooks is back on D along with Wilson. Good job by Brooks to poke check that over to the corner. The Icemen bring behind the net. Shot saved by Winfield. The Icemen go over to the dot. Shot. Another save by Winfield. So now we're on a 4-on-5 penalty kill for a 1:15 running clock. 12:39 left in a running clock in the third period. So Billadou with the faceoff goes back to Brooks. Brooks hits it high up, and it actually goes through the rafters. Didn't hit anything, but that'll be icing. So it was a slow rolling puck. So all the way through the rafters, slow rolling puck. We have 49 seconds left on our 4-on-5 penalty kill. So Billadou, Wilson, Brooks, and Zoldi. So the faceoff goes over towards Brooks. Brooks hits it up along the boards. Billadou getting that puck out into the neutral zone. Zoldi comes around through the neutral zone, gets it over towards Billadou. Billadou tries to get through the Iceman, but it gets taken away. The puck goes up into the neutral zone. Wilson will pick this up, sends it back towards Billadou. Billadou gets it out into the neutral zone. Billadou still fighting, but gets taken away by the Iceman. Brooks picks this up, sends it cross ice, pass over towards Zoldi, just a little bit too much on that. We're back to full strength. So Wenzel comes in to try to put some pressure along there. The Icemen have it in the neutral zone. The Icemen bring it through. The Icemen try to center. It gets broken up by Knob. Steer breaks up that play. The Mustangs have it behind the net. Dumps it up into the neutral zone. The Icemen take it behind the net, change directions. Lugar putting some pressure along that puck. The Icemen have it through the neutral zone. Cross ice pass. The Iceman with a shot, saved by Winfield up over the net. Wenzel comes in, hits that puck behind the net. Steer picks this up. Steer cross ice pass. Unfortunately, nobody was there, and that will be icing. So 10:26 on a running clock in the third period. Mustangs are still ahead 8-1. So we have Icemen, Baker, wide line, Brooks, and Wilson, I think. So Giesman trying to get that puck into the neutral zone, goes back to Brooks. Brooks hits it out of play. So face off to the left of Winfield. Giesman, Brooks, wide line, Wilson, and Baker. So Baker coming up with that puck, hits it up. and out into the neutral zone. The Icemen have to regroup, hit it back down, but poke checked by Baker. Baker dumps it down. Giesman in pursuit behind the net. Poke checked by the Iceman. Good job by Wyline to break up that play. Giesman tries to get a wraparound shot saved by the goalie. Wilson dumps it back down before he gets hit. Giesman with that puck dumps it down, goes off of the Iceman. Baker putting pressure along the puck. Goes behind the net. Good pressure by Baker there. Wyline putting pressure along the puck. Cross ice pass by the Iceman into the neutral zone. Cross ice pass again, broken up by Brooks. Shot off the side of the net. Iceman tried to do a wraparound save by Winfield. Still loose. Another save there. Still loose. I can't really see what's going on. I think it's held up against the side of the net. So the puck got hung up there along the side of the net. Good job by Winfield there to keep that out. 8:25 on a running clock in the third period. The Mustangs are ahead 8-1. So with Eichfeld, Conrad, Sheehan, and Knob and Steer on a face-off to the left of Winfield. So Steer picks up this puck, changes directions, hits it up off the boards. Conrad with this puck through neutral zone gets it to Eichfeld. Eichfeld fighting for that puck along the boards, goes behind the net. Sheehan is there to break up the play. Sheehan still fighting for that puck. Sheehan comes away with it, tries to get it center, but is broken up by the Iceman. Steer along the wall, dumps it back down towards the back of the net. Eichfeld picks up this puck. Eichfeld towards the middle, poke checks it. Conrad tries to get it down, but it's going to be high sticking. The Icemen do come away with it. Steer with a nice poke check to get it out towards the corner. Centering pass broken up by Steer. Steer sends it up towards Conrad and Eichfeld. Eichfeld comes away with it through the neutral zone. Eichfeld tries to get it over towards Conrad. Conrad up towards Bilodeau. Bilodeau with a shot and in! So that was a beautiful shot from Bilodeau from the top of the circle up into that top corner. So beautiful shot there. So that'll put the Mustangs up 9-1. 6:54 left on a running clock in the third period. Much different game than this afternoon. Glad to see our fire back. Hopefully we can carry that into tomorrow. Zoldi, Bilodeau, Williams, Wilson, and Brooks. So the Icemen come up with this puck, bring it in, poke checked by Bilodeau. Wilson puts a hit to break up that play momentarily. The Icemen have it, try to get it center, broken up, shot, and in. So unfortunately, the Icemen brought that through the center there, shot up into the top corner. So that'll put the score 9-2. 6:11 left on a running clock. So we're going to have Lugar, Wenzel, Sheehan, Brooks, and Wilson. So Lugar with face-off goes over to Wenzel. Wenzel trying to get it in, gets broken up by the Iceman. Sheehan putting some pressure there. Lugar with a poke check. Brooks with a poke check. And I think it's going to be offsides. Oh no, we're going to get a hooking. So Brooks will be going to the box for 1:30 for hooking. So we'll have a face-off to the left of Winfield. We'll be on the penalty kill for 1:30. 5:34 left on the clock. So we have Wenzel, Lugar. Sorry. So the Icemen come up with this puck up to the point. Icemen bring it through the middle, shot. Unfortunately, that just leaked in the 5-hole. So shot by the Icemen just leaked in through the 5-hole. So that'll put the score 9-3. We have 5:18 left in the third period. Hopefully the Mustangs can keep up the pressure. We've still got 5 minutes left. Got to keep up the energy, keep up the pressure. That'll get Brooks out of the box, though. We're back to full strength. Lugar, Wenzel, Sheehan, Steer, and Wilson. So Sheehan trying to get to that puck, poke checked by Lugar. Wilson back on D, shot and in. So the Icemen come away with that puck, shot, and in that corner. So unfortunately, the Icemen came away with some quick goals there. Hopefully the Mustangs can regroup. The Mustangs had a big lead here. Hopefully we can still put the pressure on, keep that puck out of our net. Brooks comes up with this puck behind the net. Brooks hits that puck hard up out into the neutral zone. Zoldi is there to try to break up the play. Knob, I think that's Knob, sends it down, and that'll be icing. So 3:56 left on the running clock in the third period. The score is 9-4 in favor of the Mustangs still. Philidou with the face-off. The Icemen come away with it. The Icemen with a shot deflected. Williams will go over along the boards, hit it up into the neutral zone. The Icemen dump it back down. Williams comes away with it. The Williams through the neutral zone. Williams with a shot deflected into the netting. So we'll have a face-off to the left of the goalie. Philidou, Zoldi, Brooks, Knob, and Williams. So Philidou with the faceoff goes back to Knob. Knob over towards Zoldi, bounces off the boards. Philidou comes up with the puck towards the middle. The Icemen pick that off. No, nice shot by Philidou. So Philidou with another goal up on the board. Mustangs have their fire back again. So the puck leaked into the center. Goal by Philidou. So that'll be 10-4 for the Mustangs. 2:37 left in the third period. Philidou with the face-off. Goes back towards Williams. Philidou breaking up that play. Philidou comes away with the puck. The Icemen dump it down. And that'll be icing. So we have 2:13 on a running clock in the third period. The Mustangs are ahead 10-4. I don't know how accurate the shots on goal are because their scoreboard is saying 17 shots on goal for the Mustangs and 13 for the Icemen, but I think that there's more than that. The Icemen bring it through. Shot saved by Winfield. Another shot saved by Winfield. Wilson hits that puck up through the neutral zone and in. Yeah, I don't think that they've been putting shots on goal for a little bit. So we're going to have a face-off to the right of Winfield. 1:17 left on the running clock. So Giesman with the face-off. Baker comes away with it. Baker dumps it up and out into the neutral zone. The Icemen pick this up. Cross-ice pass. Giesman has to regroup back into the offensive zone, sends it back to Wilson. Wilson dumps it down. Baker putting some pressure along that puck. Good job by Giesman to break up that play. Centering pass broken up by the Icemen. Wide line poke checks that back down. The Icemen get out into the neutral zone. Good job by Steer, but unfortunately that'll be offsides. So 35 seconds left on the running clock. So we'll face off at the near dot. So we're going to have, maybe they're just going to let it run out. Maybe not. Okay, so we have Eichfeld, Conrad, Sheehan, Knob, and Brooks. 6 seconds left. Eichfeld with the face-off goes into our offensive zone. The Icemen pass it D to D, and that'll be the end of the game. So at the end of the game, the Mustangs win 10-4. Thank you everybody for watching. We appreciate you hanging out with us today for some Mustangs hockey. Again, we have a game tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. against the Arctic Foxes from RMU, and then a second game at 3:10 p.m. against the Arctic Foxes at RMU. Hopefully everybody has a good rest of your Saturday and a good rest of your weekend, and we'll see you back tomorrow.